the cross, Lord. Hear our prayers.
Scoot all that down to the
Take our burdens. Calm our fears. God, will you make us a people
Just don't pick it up,
of you?
because it's picking up on the mic. Welcome to JMC Live. Tonight is prayer day. And I'd like to thank everyone for coming tonight. There's a lot of stuff that's going on. We call it prayer day today because this is what I want to call a preamble to what's to come on Thursday for the National Day of Prayer. We've been in prayer for different needs across the United States, across the world, for different countries, for different ministry partners, for different needs since midnight. And I didn't publicize it about what we were doing, but there's been fasting, there's been prayer, there's been talks and discussion with different people for the past couple of weeks for this day. Thursday, National Day of Prayer. As we all know, it was almost taken away. It looks like, you know, the federal court rules it unconstitutional. That's in Wisconsin. The update on this story is that Obama wants to, you know, repeal it. He wants to try and get it changed. Appeal it. He wants to try and get it changed so that people can actually freely pray and freely understand and move forward to that place that God wants us to be. So this is a victory, I see, for Christians across the world. Now, it's also a victory for those of other faiths, because there's people of other faiths that were complaining about it too. So it wasn't just a Christian problem, it was actually a problem across everything. There's an article that we posted on Eternal Flame News, and I might even see if we can get this posted in here. I need to know what this other one is. What is it?
Are you talking about the Obama one?
No, I already know about that one. But I think in this point in our lives, we must reflect on the history of what the National Day of Prayer is. And I'm going to start with this. 1775. And you can turn the music off now. The first day of prayer was declared when the Continental Congress designated a time for prayer in forming a new nation. Then we go to 1783, the conclusion of the Revolutionary War, a temporary end to the Day of Prayer. And then you don't see anything happen until 1795, February 19th, George Washington proclaimed a day of public thanksgiving and prayer. 1813, James Madison. Now this is the big step here. He proclaimed a day of prayer, and he later said, proclamations are not appropriate. They seem to imply certain nourish the erroneous idea of a national religion. Then this gets even more interesting. Thomas Jefferson in 1808 opposed declarations of national days of prayer by the federal government. He wrote, fasting and prayer are religious exercises, and enjoining them an act of discipline. Every religious society has a right to determine for itself the time for these exercises and the objects proper for them, according to their own particular tenets, and right can never be safe in their hands, where the Constitution has deposited. So the next step we have, 1863, March 30th, Abraham Lincoln signs a congressional resolution which called for a day of fasting and prayer during the Civil War. This is from 1860 to 1865. Now, how many presidents do you know currently in your lifetime said, oh, let's have a day of prayer, let's have this? I'm going to give you an example of one here at the end. And then we got 1952. A bill proclaiming an annual National Day of Prayer was unanimously passed by both houses of Congress. President Truman signs it into law. It required the president to select a day for National Day of Prayer each and every year. I'd like to thank everyone that showed up tonight. And for those that are showing up late, I know we're getting a lot more people. We're covering the history right now of the National Day of Prayer, how it's been involved in, our government. We're now at 1972. National Day of Prayer Committee was created. It's an evangelical Christian organization. The National Day of Prayer Task Force is a project of that committee. They exist to, get the speakers, get the people, pray for the nation, pray for the leaders. And what they're trying to do is just help people. They believe in praying for their leaders and the people of the world. 1888. Bill introduced to Congress. 1988. Senate Bill S-1378 by Strom Thurmond. Matching House version was initiated by Tony Hall. Now, this is a Republican and a Democrat working together. Received broad bipartisan sponsorship and support and became Public Law 100 Tac 307. It was signed into law by President Reagan on 1988 May 5th. He commended, on our National Day of Prayer, then we join together as people of many faiths to petition God to show us His mercy and His love, to heal our weariness and uphold our hope, and we might live ever mindful of His justice and thankful for His blessing. Then from 1993 to 1998, the National Day of Prayer starts becoming more, multi-faith and diverse, and different things are going on with that, So we have each year they're talking about different things that happen. So then we fast forward to 1999. All 50 state U.S. governors and several governors of the U.S. territories proclaim National Day of Prayer within their jurisdictions. Other sources of information indicate a few state governors do not issue the proclamations. Some of them say 99 May 14th mentioned Jesse Ventura refused an issue a proclamation because of separation of church and state. But the history of the National Day of Prayer, and I'm going to give you guys an example. And my buddy that's in chat that was in the military, we received this email one day which explained what a world would look like in a democratic convention of people of a nation. And there's a small island off the coast of Africa, and I'm probably going to dismantle the word, but it's called Mauritius. This country recognizes every faith. They have holidays for every faith. They recognize it not only in school, they teach every faith in school. They have the holidays in school. They have the holidays at work. And everyone works together. And there is no unemployment. This was a few years ago. I don't know the stats right now, but this was a few years ago. This was what a perfect world like. This island broke off of an African regime and became its own democratic party, became its own democracy, and did its own thing. And whenever someone, commits a crime like killing or something, they get kicked off the island. You think Survivor is a joke? Well, this place is pretty much the real deal. But it's an example of what we should be like and where things should go. We're going to take a break and we'll return